Hey guys, Ben here with Sportsman's Outdoor Superstore, and today we have a pretty cool video for you. So it's all going to revolve around SIG. We have two separate lines here. We have the P365 XL and we have the P320. So if you didn't know already, the P365 and the P320 operate off of what's called a fire and control unit, or FCU for short. The cool thing about that is the FCU is the only part in the firearm that's serialized. So what that opens up for you, you can pretty much build them up like Legos. So if you had, say you had a traditional P320 like this one here, this is a full-size P320. Say you don't like the full-size grip module, you can go ahead and purchase the compact grip module and swap those out with changing the fire and control unit, and you essentially have two separate pistols. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a little bit of customization, and we're going to show you what's possible with the P365 lineup and the P320 lineup. This firearm is already set up with the red dot, with the micro red dot. Essentially what we're going to do today, we're going to take the original XL grip module and we're going to swap it over to the X macro grip module. So what we're doing is going from 12 rounds to 17 rounds with this X macro, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to do that, and we're also, while we're at it, we're going to upgrade the barrel to a gold barrel. First things first, we're going to drop all the mags, empty mag. Drop the mag out of the XL, it's empty, and we have a cleared empty firearm. So first step, lock the slide to the rear. And just like most polymer pistols, they have a takedown lever here. So you want to drop that down and you want to release your slide. And that will disassemble the firearm to where you need it to be so you can start messing with the fire and control unit. With the P365, there is only one pin that retains the fire and control unit here. The pin is here in the back of the frame. We're going to take this rag and a small punch so that we don't mar up the finish on the pin. I don't know if you guys care about that, or if you don't, leave that up to you when you're doing your own firearm. So we care about the finish here, so we're not going to mess up the finish on the pin. Drive that out. And just remove the pin. And then the easiest way to pull the fire and control unit out is you want to put your thumb up on the back here and just push up, and that tilts it out, and you just pull it up out of the frame. So there's your old XL grip module, and here's your fire and control unit. So like I said before, this is the only item that's serialized in the firearm, so you can swap them back and forth between firearms however often you want. So to put it in the X macro, it's just the reverse order. You just want to start with the trigger shoe down through the hole in the grip frame, and you want to make sure that that notch interfaces up front, and you push down here in the back and that locks in. And then you just want to use the same pin, push that through the back of the grip module. That's all there is to it. So you just swapped out the FCU. So went from the XL to the X macro, and now we're going to mess with the barrel. So disassembly on the slide is pretty easy. You just want to remove the recoil spring, set that off to the side, and then you just want to push up on the barrel, pull it out. So now you want to grab your new barrel, the gold one, in reverse order. You want to put it at an angle, drop it through the slide, push it back forward so it locks in. Then you take your recoil spring, drop that in, compress it, and it goes down in the notch in the barrel there, in the barrel lug. So then we're just gonna reassemble everything. Lock the slide to the rear. And then you want to push your takedown lever up, and then you just want to release the slide and make sure it goes back into battery, which it did. And now we've made this P365 XL into a macro with a gold barrel. It looks pretty sweet. Now that we have the P365 modded and set up, we're going to set that off to the side. And we're going to work on the P320. So the takedown on the P320 is just a little bit different. So same takedown lever, you want to remove the magazine, make sure it's empty. You want to make sure the chamber is cleared and the firearm is empty. So you lock the slide to the rear and you use the drop down lever here. You rotate that and that's going to allow you to take the pistol apart, just like the 365. So once you get to that point, set your sliding barrel off to the side. So it's a little bit different with this one. There's no pin back here, as you can see. So they use the takedown lever as the pin to remove the firing control unit out of the frame. So you just want to push from this side and get the pin started. And then you go from this side and you grab here and you just pull it straight out. And that's the pin that holds the FCU in. So then to get the firing control unit out, you can either grab it up here and pull, but it's kind of hard. What I like to do is press up on the trigger shoe on the bottom here in the frame. So if you put your finger in right there and you press on it, it should lift it up just a little bit. And then you can grab the front. So on the P320, it's different than the P365. You want this angle when you come up out and you pull it towards the front of the frame, and then it releases. So that's how you remove the firing control unit out of the P320. Set that off to the side. And we're going to drop it back into this compact frame so you have a little more concealability. Now it's a little bit different to put this firing control unit back into the P320. So you obviously want to start your trigger shoe down into the frame, but it's going to be a different angle for this one. So you want the back of the firing control unit to go down into the frame because there's a notch here in the back and it interfaces with this piece here on the back of the firing control unit. So you drop that down first and then you push it in like that so it interfaces, and then you just press the firing control unit down into the frame until it locks in, and that's all it takes. Okay, so now that you have the firing control unit down into the frame and seated properly, you're going to take your takedown lever and you want to start it off in there. And once you get it into that position, you just want to pivot it a little bit like that so it goes all the way through. Once you get to this point, just do a full rotation and it goes back to where it would sit when the slide is on the frame, and you just push it all the way in and that locks it into the frame. Then obviously we're going to put the slide back on, so you want to drop that down to the takedown position. And then we can take the original barrel and slide configuration, and since the barrel and the slide is longer than the grip module, it'll still interface and work. So now you have the 5.7 inch barrel on the compact grip module, which is pretty cool. All right, so now let's say that you have the compact grip module, and let's say you want to start shooting competition. We have what's called the TXG grip module here. It is the tungsten infused, so there's a big chunk of tungsten in the back of the grip module, and that adds a bunch of weight, and it also comes with a magwell. So we're going to take this firing control unit and drop it in the TXG now. So all right, so now we've got that off to the side, we're going to grab this TXG, the heavy grip module. All right, so it's the same process. You're just gonna drop your trigger shoe in. Like I said, you want to get that angle again. Like I said before, this side angles in to interface with the frame. Push it back towards the rear. Drop the front down until it clicks. And then you want to pull your trigger so that it really seats in. I don't know if you could see that movement, but it really locked it back into the back of the frame, and now you're set to put your pin in. All right, so now that we have the firing control unit installed on this grip module, we're going to go ahead and install the magwell. So the way you do this, it comes with a bolt. It's very small, probably can't see that. The way this interfaces, there is a little an extrusion right here in the front, and there's one in the back. So at the bottom of the grip module, there are two little slots to interface with that, and you want to put the front one in first. You want to pivot that back one into it so it locks in, and you take your bolt through the back of the fire and control unit. All right, so then you're going to tighten up the bolt here in the back. Don't over tighten it, just snug enough. And now you've got the flared magwell on the end there to help you funnel your reloads. Then we can take our traditional P320 slide that back onto the frame, drop your takedown lever back up in the right position, and now we have a range ready P320 with a TXG heavy grip module. Larry Vickers, he teamed up with SIG and he designed his own version of the P320. This is it. This is the P320 VTAC. So what we're going to do with this is there are some noticeable differences. You've got fiber optic sights front and rear. You've got optic ready. You got a flat face trigger. The grip module is changed quite a bit. It's heavily modified. It's kind of like the TXG that we just talked about. So what we're going to do with this one, we're actually going to make it like a tactical or everyday carry, like new age style pistol. So we're going to mount a red dot on here. We're going to mount the light, and we're also going to change the grip module too. So we're going to get started on that. So we've cleared the magazine, cleared the firearm, empty magazine, empty chamber. So now that we have our fire and control unit back together, we're going to set that off to the side. And now we're going to work on the slide here. So we're going to disassemble, take out the recoil spring in the barrel, set that off to the side here. And then we're going to work on the slide by mounting the red dot. So once you get these removed, the plate pops right off. And we're going to be using the SIG Romeo 1 Pro on this build. So you got the plate off, and there's a little notch system here that interfaces with the slide. And if you didn't know, when you order a SIG Romeo 1 Pro, it comes with this metal protective housing. So the way you put that on the pistol, you interface them together and line up the bolt holes, and then you put that right on the slide, line everything up, and you take the included bolts, drop those in, we can reassemble. So we're going, now we've got the red dot mounted, put the barrel back in the slide, recoil spring back in. And then we can reassemble the slide onto the frame. All right, so now we have everything back together. We're gonna add the light. So this is a Foxtrot 1X light, and if you didn't know, this thing's pretty versatile. So you can adjust the bottom plate here to fit any pick rail configuration you have. So if you have the longer one or the shorter one, you can move this plate forward and backward, and it will click for 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way. So the way this grip module is set up, it needs to be on number 1, and you just want to slide that right in. And there's a little spring here that you push to get that to interface. And then on this side, you're going to take any flathead screwdriver and you just want to tighten it up. And now we have the VTAC all set up. Now what we could do also, if you have the magwell, since this takes the same mounting option as that magwell for the TXG frame, you can take that magwell and you can put it on here and make it super high speed, whatever you guys want to do. All right, guys, that wraps up our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you picked up some tips on how to do this. If you don't own a P320 or a P365, I hope this kind of motivates you to maybe get into this lineup here, because you really can do a lot. As you can see with the video, you can do, it's basically unlimited what you can do with these pistols. So like I said, you know, we modified the P365 XL to the X macro, and we added the gold barrel. This already had the red dot mounted. Then we took the P320 VTAC and we added the Romeo 1 Pro red dot and the Foxtrot 1X light. So, and then we also modified the traditional P320 a little bit too, just to show you what you can do with them. If you're interested in any of these parts and pieces or firearms, we have them available at sportsmansoutdoorsuperstore.com. Go and check those out. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, click the subscribe button down below and click that bell so you're notified when we release new videos like this. Also, while you're at it, if you wouldn't mind, go check out all of our other social media platforms and like, subscribe, and follow and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Jesus. Well, it doesn't help that they're like a size too small. They're large, as I probably need an XL glove.